and welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another anime review. This time around, we're going to be talking about The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody. God, these names are so ridiculous sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, let's get started. So, it's your classic reincarnation style anime where an overpowered demon lord decides that he's kind of tired of his current life and decides to get reborn into the future to kind of live a life outside of what he normally has, basically lived. And yeah, you just follow the character of, what is his name? Ard Meteor, previously known as the Demon Lord Barbatos, gets reborn 3,000 years into the future, where your typical magic has been reduced. It's not as strong as it was before, so he's very overpowered. It starts out pretty reasonably okay, where he's trying to. So the premise is that he was so well known and respected that really he never really had any real friends. He had his echelons of people. He had people that cared about him and he cared about, but he really had no real friends. So the premise of the show later becomes sort of that he wants to make he just wants to be an everyday person. So it's okay, let's see how this turns out. It kind of then just goes with the formula of he does get a few people. He gets this an interesting style of harem, but nothing too crazy. There's jokes here and there, but nothing crazy. So you get his two main friends of Arena and Genie, and these are the two main characters that are going to be following Ard along the way. So in your typical 12 episode series, there's two arcs mainly, and they're okay. I think there's a lot during the second arc that is should have been a little bit more expanded. It felt rushed, and there was a lot of things hanging, reasons for characters to do. There's a lot of plot holes. Nothing, like I said, there's really nothing great about this show. The animation was okay. The art style's pretty normal. Nothing to oh yes, that's amazing. No, it's just pretty okay. It's just a little bit above average. Nothing too grand there. Like I said, the animation's pretty okay as well. Nothing just felt off. And yeah, even the plot was not that very interesting. If I was watching this in English, it could have been in the background, but since I was watching it with subtitles, you kind of have to pay attention to get the gist of what's happening. And because of that, I was not very pulled by the plot that much. The concept of the plot was interesting. The second half was, and I liked it. It just I wish it was more expanded upon. This is one of the few times where a reasonably interesting plot is just whittled down just because of time, and then just a bunch of plot holes throughout that are created during the first arc. It's nothing too grand. It just leaves a lot of openness. Would I watch a second season? I'm not looking for. I'm not waiting for it. If it happens, I'll watch it. But it's not oh, I can't wait for season 2. It's all right. Nothing. Yeah, it's a very basic episode show. There's nothing really captivating about most of the characters. There's nothing that pulls you to anyone in particular. No character is really memorable, except one character during arc 2, which is the main focal point of it. And it's emphasized throughout the entire season, but like when it gets there, it just doesn't feel like fully utilized, because they use a lot of interesting like hooks to get to that point, but there was no like true build up and like context besides like, yeah, it just felt it was a little bit empty, I'll be honest. Yeah, it just felt empty. Like it's a pretty average show, mostly for these type of reincarnation ones. I've seen and read a couple, and the reading of it was okay. Thinking about it, because it's been a while since I've read it, there was a little bit more context, but that's because it's written. But nothing I think would have really helped this series, honestly. So the greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. Yeah, I could have. You could probably, if it's not your style of show, you can probably skip this one, because I give it I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10. It's average. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that. It was like it's passable. Like if you want to kill a couple hours watching something, like it's there. What sucks is it has some like interesting points. It just isn't expanded upon enough, and yeah. So yeah, those are my thoughts for the greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. I'm hoping we'll see something better if it comes out with season 2. Because like I said, there was a lot of plot holes that were left open for this one. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys thought. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, or iTunes. What's iTunes podcast site? Wherever you're listening to, go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. You can always leave message for me there. So yeah, thank you again. Until next time, see ya.